So let's just do a quick vibe check. It's January 2026. And if you've been anywhere online, like in the tech world specifically, you've probably felt this really intense energy this week.
Intense is, putting it mildly, it feels more like a collective meltdown.
It really does. My whole feed just feels split right down the middle.
Yeah.
On one side, you have, the people who are just vibe coding their way into a digital rapture. They're thrilled.
And on the other?
The other side is people just sweating. I mean, genuinely drafting welcome emails to our new AI overlords.
It does feel different from the usual hype, doesn't it? Like, this isn't just another crypto boom or metaverse launch.
No.
This feels heavier.
Heavier is the perfect word. And right in the middle of it all is this new thing from an Anthropic, Claude Code.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to ask the obvious question here. Is it just another chatbot that, writes bad poetry? Or is this something fundamentally different?
It is fundamentally different. And if there's one thing you take away today, it should be this. We are moving from AI tools that talk to tools that do.
Talking versus doing. Okay, break that down for me. What does that actually mean?
Well, think about pretty much every AI you've used so far. You type something in, it gives you text back, it's an advisor.
Right. It gives you a recipe, but doesn't actually cook the meal.
Exactly. It suggests some code, but you're the one who has to copy it, paste it, run it, and then deal with all the errors. You are the one doing the work.
I am the manual labor.
You are. Claude Code is different. It's not a chatbot, it's an agent. It's designed to actually operate your computer specifically from the command line to execute tasks.
So it's not in the passenger seat with the map anymore.
It's trying to drive the car, and you're hopefully still navigating.
Okay.
And that shift from advisor to agent is why everyone is, losing their minds.
So that's our mission for this deep dive then.
I think so. We need to unpack what this means for coders, but also for everyone else with this new Cowork feature.
And we have to tackle the big one. Should we be excited about this, or should we be, terrified?
Honestly, probably a bit of both.
Great. Comforting.
Yeah.
So let's start with the look and feel of it. You said it's a drop-in remote worker, but the screenshots, they don't look friendly. It's that black screen with green text. The terminal.
The CLI, yeah. The command line interface.
Right, the CLI, which to me, and I think a lot of people, that's the scary place. That's where you go when you break something and a stranger on Reddit tells you to type in some magic words and pray.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we going back to this, 1980s interface? Isn't that a huge step backward?
It seems like it, but it's really about giving the AI direct power. The windows and icons you use every day, that's a wrapper for humans. The computer itself speaks in text commands.
So the CLI is the engine room.
Exactly. You want the AI speaking the native language of the machine, not trying to, click on a virtual button.
Okay, that makes sense from a utility standpoint.
Yeah,
But the intimidation is real. Do I need to look like Angelina Jolie in Hackers to use this thing?
It's funny you say that. The aesthetic is very cyberpunk, very Hackers. But the learning curve. One of the sources we read described it as dropping faster than a Six Flags roller coaster. It's basically gone.
If I don't know the commands, what do I do?
And that's the trick. You use plain English. You don't need to know the complex commands anymore. You just type what you want to happen.
So I can literally type, hey, build me a quick website that does X.
Yes, or analyze all the data in this folder and give me a summary. The interface is technical, but the interaction is completely natural.
Okay, so let's get under the hood a bit. We keep using this word agentic. What's actually happening when I type fix this bug? It's not just magic, right?
It feels like magic. But no, it's a very clear process. They call it the agentic loop.
The agentic loop.
With a normal LLM, like ChatGPT, it's just prompt in, answer out, one and done.
A game of ping pong.
Right. But Claude Code enters a loop. It has 5 steps. Plan, read, edit, check, and iterate.
Okay, walk me through that. Plan.
So you give it a goal. The login button is broken. It doesn't just start spitting out code. It first makes a plan. It thinks, okay, I need to check the HTML file, the CSS, and the JavaScript.
It makes a little to-do list. And then read.
This part is so important. It reads your entire project to understand the context. It sees how all the files connect to each other, just like a human developer would.
It's getting the lay of the land. Then edit.
Then it goes in and actually changes the files on your computer. It writes the new code.
And this is where the old AIs would stop, right? They just hand you the code and wish you luck.
Exactly. But this is where the loop really kicks in. Step 4 is check.
Check.
It runs the code. It runs your tests. It actually tries to see if its own fix worked.
And if it didn't. Because, AI code fails all the time.
That's step 5. Iterate. It reads the error message, analyzes what went wrong, and then goes back to the edit step to try a new fix.
Oh, it keeps trying.
It keeps looping. Plan, read, edit, check, iterate, over and over until the tests pass.
That's the part that's blowing my mind.
Yeah.
The self-correction. Because I've spent hours copying and pasting error messages back into ChatGPT.
We all have. This just skips that whole process. It's its own troubleshooter.
I can see why the programmers are so excited. It sounds like it just removes all the annoying little tasks.
That's what they say. It removes 1,000 tiny paper cuts.
Okay, but I have to ask the paranoid question. If it can edit my files, can it, delete my files?
Oh.
Yes, just like that.
That's the other side of the coin, isn't it? If you give something the power to create, you also give it the power to destroy.
So it could just wipe my project.
It could delete files, yeah. It could leak your secret keys. It could run up huge bills on your cloud account if you're not careful.
One of the experts in our sources compared it to parenting a 5-year-old with superpowers.
That is a terrifyingly accurate analogy.
So what are the safety rails?
By default, there's a human-in-the-loop setting. Before it does anything big, like a deletion, it'll pause and ask you for permission.
It taps you on the shoulder.
Right. But, and this is the important part, you can turn that off. You can give it full autonomy.
And that's when you're really trusting the 5-year-old.
That's when you're trusting the 5-year-old, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about what people are actually building with this. Because the examples I've seen are surprisingly creative, not just corporate stuff.
That's what's so cool. When you make building things this easy, people start making really personal, really niche things.
Like the Spotify Wrapped for your text messages. I saw that one.
Right. Someone just pointed it at their iMessage history and said, analyze this for me.
Something you would never pay a developer thousands of dollars to build. But for, what, $20 a month?
Why not? And there was the personalized news brief, too. It scans your emails, a few websites, and builds you a custom daily report.
And then the really fun ones. The Pokemon card database.
A full management system. And what about the DNA analyzer?
And cyberpunk Tetris?
I mean, think about that. It built a playable, interactive game that runs inside the terminal. It had to figure out the game logic, the controls, the scoring, everything.
That's just wild. But there has to be a catch. This can't be free.
It's not. You need at least a Claude Pro account, which is around $20 a month right now.
$20.
But think about that. $20 a month for what is effectively a junior developer on call 24/7.
When you put it that way, yeah. It's an insane value proposition.
Narrier isn't really the money anymore.
Okay, I want to pivot here. Because this is all great for developers, but most people aren't developers. They're sitting there thinking, I don't have a code base. I have a messy desktop and a to-do list.
And that is why we absolutely have to talk about Claude Cowork.
This is the new feature, right?
It is. And honestly, this might be the even bigger story for the wider world. This kind of agent was only on the super expensive $100 a month plan before.
And now it's on the $20 plan.
Now it's accessible to a lot more people.
So what does it do for a non-coder? How is this different than just, uploading a PDF to ChatGPT?
It's about working with a whole folder of stuff, not just one file. Think about that messy desktop folder you mentioned.
Well, I call it my junk drawer folder. It's got like 3 PDFs, a weird spreadsheet, a screenshot.
We all have that folder. Cowork lets you point Claude at that entire junk drawer.
Okay.
And it doesn't forget. It treats that folder as its workspace. You can tell it, read all these reports, find the key friends, and then draft a summary for me in a new document.
And it will create a new Word doc in that folder.
It can create files. It can organize things into subfolders. It's like having a little administrative assistant that lives on your computer.
So instead of asking, how should I organize this? I can just say, organize this.
No, it just does it.
Wow. Okay, that's not just a coding tool anymore. That's
so.
a tool for getting rid of all the boring parts of an office job.
It's turning messy inputs into clean outputs. It's the drop-in remote worker for knowledge work.
Which brings us to the really big question. The so what?
Yeah.
If you have a $20 tool that can do the work of a junior developer and an admin assistant, what happens to them?
This is where the vibe gets a little dark. Dario Amodei himself, the CEO of Anthropic.
The guy selling the tool?
The guy selling the tool warned that we could be sleepwalking into a white-collar bloodbath.
Bloodbath. That's not a word CEOs usually throw around.
No, he was being very blunt, and the logic is pretty cold. If a remote worker's job is typing things into a computer, and the AI can now type things into a computer,
The line gets very blurry, very fast. It's like, if the boss gets the report, do they care if human Kevin or Silicon Kevin made it?
Especially when Silicon Kevin costs $20 a month and doesn't take vacation.
Okay, but hang on. People have been saying the robots are coming for our jobs for decades. Isn't there a more optimistic take?
There is. The other side of the argument is that jobs won't be replaced, they'll be rearranged.
Rearrange how?
Okay, have you seen the movie Office Space?
Of course. TPS reports. A classic.
Remember Bill Lumbergh? The manager with the suspenders and the coffee mug?
The worst boss in history.
Yes. The optimistic view is that we all become Bill Lumbergh.
Wait, that's the optimistic view. That sounds awful.
No, hear me out. Not the personality, the role.
Okay.
Instead of doing the grunt work, the typing, the data entry, our job shifts. We become the managers of the AI agents. We set the goals, we check the quality, we provide the direction.
So I just walk around telling my AI, yeah, I'm going to need you to finish up those TPS reports, and it just does it.
Essentially, yes. We move from being the doers to being the directors.
I suppose that's better than being unemployed.
Mm.
But it feels, I don't know, weird. Like we're losing the actual skill.
That's the risk, the hollowing out of competence. And I think everyone agrees the next few years are just going to be really, really strange.
You know, it reminds me of that Disney short, The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
With Mickey Mouse and the brooms, yeah.
Right, he's tired of carrying water buckets, so he uses magic to make the broom do it for him.
And for a minute, it's amazing. He's a genius.
That's exactly the feeling of using this tool. You type one sentence and watch the computer do an hour of work for you. It's a total rush.
It's the feeling of pure, insane leverage. But we all remember how that story ends, right?
Chaos. Absolute chaos. A flooded castle, and every time he tries to stop a broom, it just makes more brooms.
Because he gave an autonomous agent a command, fill the cauldron, but he didn't give it any limits. He didn't tell it when to stop.
The 5-year-old with superpowers.
Exactly. And that's the danger. We might be creating these incredibly powerful brooms without fully understanding how to turn them off.
So, final verdict. What's the takeaway here? Do we embrace the magic or run for the hills?
I think you have to try it.
Even with the risk of flooding the castle.
Yes. Because you can't really get it just by listening to us talk about it. You have to feel it. Pay the $20 for a month. Get in there.
And just see what it's like.
See what it's like. Watch the cursor move on its own. It fundamentally changes how you think about what work is.
Okay. I'm convinced. But we need a final safety warning.
Oh, absolutely. The #1 piece of advice from all the sources.
Which is?
Backups.
Backup.
Before you let the AI superhero loose on your computer, back up everything important. Because you want a big undo button if it decides clean up my desktop means deleting your family photos.
That is very solid advice. If you're going to play sorcerer, make sure you know where the exit is.
And maybe keep an axe nearby, just in case.
So get out there, experiment, become the Bill Lumbergh of your own destiny.
For goodness sake, back up your files first.
And just, prepare for things to get weird.
It's going to be a fascinating ride. Thanks for walking us through it.
Anytime.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.